Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. In this video I'm going to fix the brakes on the CX, or hopefully I will. I already started on the other side. I'm finished with the right rear, almost finished with the front right. But now I want to fix this side. In the previous video I removed the caliper because I changed the bearing. Therefore I don't have to do that right now. So let's go to the workbench with this piece of kit and rebuild it. Now what I could do with this is to take it apart and then sandblast it and clean it up. But I am in a bit of a hurry, so I'm just going to give it a quick shine to get the worst of the grit off, and then change the seals. And then that will be that. If you know Citroens, this will not be weird at all. This brake caliper is the same on the BX and the XM. But if you don't know Citroens, you will be a bit surprised about what will happen next when I undo this. Because this is just a cover plate for the and the retainer for the pads, but as you can see, the caliper splits down the middle, and there's a seal in between it that I'm going to change, of course. Unfortunately, I forgot to buy new mounting hardware for this, so we're going to have to reuse this. Let's get those pads out. They're really stuck, like that. So next up I want to take these pistons out, and they can be really stuck. But what I'm going to do is to try to use compressed air. I'm just going to clamp it like this, then I'm going to pressurize this. Therefore the piston should come out, but because it's clamped in the vise, it won't come shooting out. It will just slam against that one. But now let's see if it actually moves, because it could be, or sometimes it is very, very stuck. Right there. And then apply some pressure. Ah, there we go. That was easy. Yeah, there we go. It's out. And you can see the green blood in there. Brake fluid on the Citroen is the same as the hydraulic fluid and the steering fluid and all that. It's all green LHM oil. Let's do the same to the other one. On this one there is the inlet for the actual brake pressure open also, so I'll have to put my fingers over that. There we go. Don't be tempted to do this without a vise, because this will come flying with a lot of force and will most likely get destroyed or bent or scratched, I mean. It could also be quite dangerous if you hit something or someone. I have cleaned up the insides of the bores. It's now nice and clean. And the rest of this job I'm going to do without the gloves, because it's easier to feel if I get some crap on it. There are two seals down here, lower and higher. The top one got a lip in it. I'm just going to remove them and replace them. That's one. And that's the other one. And now I'm going to go ahead and clean it again, because there is a little bit of residue in there, and I want it to be completely clean in there before I put in the new seals. And I'm going to take some LHM oil down into this spray cap. It's a great way to use the cap from spray cans instead of just throwing them out for a small container for stuff like this. And as you can see, it's such a nice color. It looks almost alien. And then we take some seals, got them all right here. I'm gonna loop them and install them. Actually, you should of course wear gloves for this, but as mentioned, it's a bit easier to make sure that I don't get any crap down there. And also, this is not the same liquid as normal brake fluid. Normal brake fluid, I would never do this. But this is a mineral oil and it's not that bad to get on your fingers. But of course it's not advisable. But normal brake fluid, I wouldn't want to do this with, that's for sure. That's some pretty nasty stuff. The piston itself is looking pretty nice, so I'm just gonna clean it. It's actually looking almost perfect. But sometimes it develops a bit of a lip with grease and residue, and that's the reason why it gets stuck. And you don't want that. This looks nice. Then I'm going to loop that up as well, and just slide that in there, like that. That's one side done. I'm going to do the same to the other one. There we go. Then the last thing is an O-ring between the two halves, right there. There we go, it's back on with new pads and all that. The disc is the old one. It's a bit rusty, but I hope it cleans up after a bit of braking. Otherwise I will have to see if I can find a new one, but they are hard to get. I think it will be fine. Next up, it's the same treatment for the front brakes, but unfortunately I actually already started on the other side. Well, maybe not unfortunately, but I did start over on this side and I messed up a little bit. One of the pistons was really stuck. I'm gonna show you how I got them out when I do the other side. But I have to figure out what to do about this, because I had to grab this one. Well, I didn't have to, but I tried to grab it. And I thought I was gentle with some cloth in between, but I wasn't, so I got that nick in it right there, which is, it's just on the edge of the seal, but I'm not gonna dare trying to use this. So I'm gonna have to see if I can find two used pistons. So I will not continue this before I get that, because otherwise I can't bleed the system and all that. So the next clip will be the same project, but most likely a couple of days later. And it's a couple of days later, but would you believe my luck? My neighbor, not neighbor, but around 500 meters away from the garage, there is a guy who collects a lot of cool Citroen stuff. So I went to his place and he had a spare caliper lying around for a CX, not with ABS, but it seems to be the same anyway. It's just missing the sensor piece and all that. And I managed to get two of the pistons out of this, and I wrecked two of the pistons on the other one I showed you just a minute ago. So I'm now finished rebuilding the right front caliper. I haven't gotten these out just yet. They are very stuck as well. It's on the spare one. But if I destroy more on the other side that I'm going to fix next, then I at least have two attempts to get some spares. But I did some stupid mistakes on the right side because I got the pistons pretty far out using air. Then I thought I could just, with a plier, just gently take them out, but I messed up. So I'm going to try to be a bit more gentle on the right side, on the left side, and I'm going to bring you guys along as well. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if it showed in the previous clips, but since I filmed the previous stuff, I have been polishing some of the car. I made a video about half the front panel. I have now polished the rest of it. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. And as you can see, the rest of the paint is still that very, very dull and white looking paint, but it's possible to make the entire car look like this, I'm pretty sure of. But it's not about that right now. It's about this thing. And the first thing is to try to get the brake pads out of it. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a struggle because they are made of steel. The rest is made of aluminum. It just gets extremely stuck. I'm just going to take the caliper apart and remove him. I think that will be the easiest way to go. And then by using this small torquey thing, let's get the bolts out. And when this comes apart, it will leak. So I'm just going to put some absorbing mat on it. This is the handbrake mechanism down here. Just going to remove one side of the arm. This is really a strong one, even though it's the small one. It's really strong. And I can remove this very, very stiff handbrake mechanism. We need to free that up a lot. Otherwise it won't ever work. And it needs to work for the MOT. I was told that they only work for the MOT and then won't work before next MOT when you fix them up again, because it's apparently not a very good design, this, or maybe it's just because people don't use them a lot. That is actually something that really seems to divide people with classic cars, whether to use your handbrakes or not. I know a lot of people who never uses the handbrake, only fixes them up for the MOT but never touches it otherwise. And remember, it's 8 years in between MOTs, so if, and that's a problem when I sometimes borrow cars from people who doesn't use the handbrake, and then I go ahead and pull the handbrake, and if that has been unused for a couple of years, it will get stuck. But I really don't understand why people don't use them. They are supposed to work. They are supposed to be used in an emergency. I think it's important to make sure those systems actually work. And also, I don't like to rely on having your car in gear to keep it in place, because it's so easy to knock it out of gear if by accident. I think it's a clever thing to make sure that it works. Now I think it does, like that, it's off. Now I want to pry that pad out. Like that. And then I should be able to pry this out. No wonder that it's stuck when even the pads are this stuck in there. There we go, that was one. Ignore the oil in the disc, I will clean it off later, of course. And then I'm going to put some wooden pieces in between. Then I'm going to start the car up. Firstly, I'm gonna tighten up the bleed screw on the hydraulic system, because we want brake pressure to build like that. Then I'm gonna start the engine up, and then I'm gonna press the brake, and hopefully we will see all four pop out. So I will do that now. I'm gonna hold the steering wheel in this position so you can actually see something. I can't see anything because I'm in the cabin. I'm gonna let go of the steering wheel. Yep, and it's gonna return. Did it work though? There we go. This is where I did something wrong on the other side, because I grabbed the outside with some cloth in between very gently, but it was enough to scratch the surface. And actually this one is also scratched. Or is that from the... I think I might have made that with the pry bar when I tried to get it off. maybe. So I need one of them out of the other one. And still it's pretty stuck in there. So now I'm going to put it back together once more, but without the disc. I'm pretty sure I can get the outside ones out in the vise because I can take that part of it off. So I'm just going to push that in a bit. And as mentioned, I did scratch this one up. I need to change that one, unfortunately. So I hope I can get another one out of the spare ones. But I think I can pop these two out now and then remove this and take that out on the bench. There we go. And this is the piston that I messed up, so I'm just going to grab that and take that out of there. And then at the workbench, I'm going to take this one, and then I'm going to apply some air pressure into this. A better way to do all this would be to rig up a brake master from a 2CV with a piece of brake line and just screw it in. That way it can be a bit more controlled. That was a tip I got from my neighbor, and it seems pretty brilliant, but I'm going to try this. I hope it will work. There we go, that's one. There we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. And then I just need to clean this up. Again, I'm not going to clean it all because this is a bit of a hurry up job. But I do need to make sure that it's clean in the bores and that I get the seals in there right. So I'm going to remove the old seals. That's one out. And two. And the nice thing about aluminum is that it cleans up really nicely. There we go. I'm not going to take my gloves off for this one, but I need to make sure they are clean. And then take the first seal, the lower one, lube it up a bit, and put it in like so. And on the other side, like that. And then the outer seals, like that. And then take the clean piston and lube it and slide it in. There we go. That should be fine. I'm gonna do the same on the car. It's exactly the same just on the car. And then bring you back when we put this back on. There we go. The brakes are now back on the CX. They are not yet bled because I found some other issues that I will address in the next video. But the caliper is back in. There are new brake parts. I still need to fit these to the... Oh, I got some grease on my camera, I can see. I need to clean that up. Anyway, not now. This is the wear indicator. It needs to go in there. But before I bleed the brake system, I need to do something about this. It is supposed to be a brake line. It is still holding pressure apparently, but it's really rusty. So I need to change that. And then I can bleed it. Then I noticed another problem in this area. I think it will be a little bit hard to show you, but take a look at the knuckle. I'm not sure you can see it, but we got movement in the joint in here, so I need to change that in the next video, along with the pipe. But the rear wheel got a new rebuilt brake caliper, both of them, of course. And this caliper is also ready to go. And on this side, I have already changed both the line and the brake and the hard line. I have also done some rust repairs inside of here. I'm pretty happy with the result down here. That turned out pretty nicely. I'm not so happy about this one up here. It was a bit of a botch, but it will be strong enough and it will be just fine. So yeah, I need to do some more rust repairs on the other side and a bit on the subframe. I think I will do that in the next video as well. But this will be all for now. I think it's a bit better now. I think I got some LHM oil on the camera when I popped out the pistons on the caliper. So maybe this video has been looking a little bit dreamy. I hope it won't matter too much. Anyway, progress is made. I was hoping to bleed the brakes in this video also, but I need to do that other stuff before I'm doing that. So that will be in the next video. It's really easy to bleed the system on a car like this because of the hydraulic nature of it. But that will be in the next video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.